Hello and welcome to Cybersquad Gaming video. We've just got news. The Xbox Series S is an all-digital edition SKU coming out, and we're going to look at how that competes against the PS5 and their different approach to the all-digital. So today I have Thomas with me. How you doing today, Thomas?
I'm doing good, thanks, Mike.
So we're coming straight off the news that the Xbox Series S has been revealed. It's $299. It's going to be a 512 gigabyte hard drive, half the size of the Xbox Series X, and it's also going to be running possibly a 4 teraflop is the rumor GPU. And with the work that Digital Foundry's done on comparing the different types of evolution of the nanometers and the processors and the evolution of the architectures, that's going to give it about the same performance as an Xbox One X in GPU, but it's going to still be packing the Velocity architecture, the SSD, and also the high-end CPU, right? So, what do you think of this news? Is this an interesting price point for an all-digital knockdown version?
I think the price point is definitely on point. Let's put it that way. I mean, considering the current console, the Xbox One S in my area, you can get for 199, and now translate over, it's about 220 in currency. I mean, you can't really complain about that for an upgrade, can you?
It's 249 in the UK, I think, is the
Are they going
price.
to bump it up from the conversion? I just converted 299 to UK.
249 UK, 299 euros, and $299.
Still, it's $50 more, and it's a brand new console. Even 199 for an Xbox One S is a bargain, in my opinion.
So they've come out and they said like expect 120 FPS gaming, right? I mean the GPU is really talking about there's a couple things the GPU scaling is going to do, right? It's going to reduce the resolution. Maybe we're looking at a 1080p, 1440p console, and then we're also probably looking at less ray tracing. So all those back-end filters, where we ray trace at a lower resolution and things like that, or we have different interlacing of different resolutions and different checkerboarding all happens at a lower resolution, so you're using the GPU less. But what's interesting is the approach difference, because we have an Xbox Series S, going in at 4 teraflops. We are all digital, we're cheap, you can get us, we're small, we're tiny. And then you have the PlayStation approach, which is you get the full fat 10.2 teraflops, you get all the information, you get everything, but we just take the disk drive out, and what does that save you? $50. So maybe we're looking at a $50 to $75 cheaper console there, versus what I think we're looking at here is maybe half the price, or at least $200 less.
Yeah, I think we're looking about $100 probably off the PlayStation. I can't imagine they'll make it short. They probably want to push the digital console edition even more so than the one with the disc drive, so they'd make it quite incentivized.
Yeah, and that's really the piece, right? I mean, if the PlayStation comes out at $399 all digital, the $299 isn't looking all that good. But if all digital comes out at $499, with rumors of these consoles being really expensive, then this is starting to look interesting. I mean, we're talking about one saying you get all the same, you're all digital. But I think what Xbox is saying is if you're going to be downloading these 120 plus gigabyte games, you, why wouldn't you just use our xCloud? Why wouldn't you just use, this is the Game Pass machine. This is your first console, your next gen console, Game Pass, xCloud, all that. So do you need an all digital edition that's super powerful if you have the support of the cloud and all that information?
Well, it's a good point you made there about it being an entry to next gen and stuff. Because I think anybody who's serious about it, anybody who's been following the news, has already decided they're getting Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5. That's just how it is. This coming out of the woodwork, I thought would have come after the Xbox Series One, the X Series. Basically, I thought it was going to be after it, not before it, or at the same time. But like just thinking about it as an entry, like you said, it's like now kids who want a new Xbox, it's not going to be the 199 PlayStation, the 250 next gen one, and that would be like kids' entry into it. Because why would kids want a much more expensive console? Why would parents want to buy it anyway? So it's also a way in that way.
Well, you talk about the current economic climate, right? We've got COVID, we've got all that stuff. If you're a parent walking into your GameStop, your Best Buy, your, all Amazon, whatever, and there's these $600 consoles and this one for $299, it plays the exact same games, except that kid's now playing at 1080p on his bedroom TV that isn't 4K anyway. As a parent, you just go, we're going to get that one, right? And we've been hearing here a big push from Microsoft is to say, you buy it like a phone. You get a 2-year contract. It's $25 a month. We give you Game Pass. We give you Xbox Live. We give you the console for $25 a month. If you're a parent, it's $25 a month. Is much better than dropping $500 on a console, $60 on one game, and then having to buy a subscription to an online service.
Yeah, but this is why I'm really unsure what Microsoft is doing. We've mentioned it before, but like I know Game Pass is something new they're pushing, the whole 2-year console cycle. But now with this S as well, it's like, and supporting the previous generation console for the next 2 years, even though they've stopped production or whatever. It's such a strange, bizarre, like low end, mid end, high end entry into consoles and how they work and how you can game at home. And like the fact that once again pushing Game Pass, and even in the video release for the Xbox Series S, they heavily show off Game Pass, 100 games whatever already, and then they extend this payment plan. It's completely flipping the table on what we expect, really, and it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. But I'm not sure what they're actually thinking up there.
You know what? I'm getting closer to that age group of parents, and I'll be honest with you. For me personally, I got a high-end PC sitting right here. I have an Xbox One X. I got a PS4, and I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna go get the Series X because I have a 4K monitor HDR right here, and that's what I play on. I mean, I have the power to support it, but I know if my kid's 13 years old, and he's not gonna, and I gotta buy games for him and stuff. I mean, the Series X with Game Pass or Series S, sorry, with Game Pass for his bedroom TV that he's using a 1080p monitor is perfect. Because I think we're looking here at the consumer. That we're not looking here at the consumer, us, the enthusiasts. I think what we're looking for is most parents when they go to buy a console come December 25th or Thanksgiving, and they go in and say, "This is cheaper. It comes with all these games," and grandma, grandpa, and parents go, "This is a better buy," right? And maybe Microsoft's saying, well, maybe the parent is going to buy the PlayStation 5. Maybe this is the other option. I think what they're doing is saying they're trying to make it hard for you to go into GameStop or Best Buy, sit there and drop $500 and have to buy games, have to buy it, versus paying $299 and walking out with a console for $0 down for $25 a month. They're basically saying, well, give me $25.
It's funny as well because it's almost like they're undercutting their own console.
They want a market spread. I think Game Pass undercut their PC. They're releasing all Xbox exclusives on the PC. That doesn't undercut their Xbox One Series X already with Nvidia's new cards. What does? I mean, I think what they're saying is, we don't care where you play games. Just play them in the Xbox ecosystem, right? We want to cover everything, and I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think it's about who becomes the Netflix of gaming. It's a $150 billion company there. That's what they want to be. They want a market cap of that. I read today somewhere that online cloud gaming is worth a few $100 million today, like $500 million. And this is going to be worth nearly $4.5 billion in the next 2 years. I mean, that's the market they want. That's the push, right? So, well, do you agree with that?
I mean, I know what they're going for. It's you can see what it is they're going for. What I was on about before of like, I don't know what they're thinking. It's just they're doing so much. It's not like they've just introduced Game Pass and that idea. Then there's the idea that you can pay a console up by buying it $50 on day one or $25 day one. Then it's the idea that you can play games across 3 platforms that will all be the same game, just different experiences. Then in this 2-year support. Then it's the xCloud stuff. It's like they've just dropped a bunch of stuff into a basket, and they're just like, this is now what we do, and we're just going to keep throwing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if even before the end of the year they come out with some other announcement about the console, what it can do, what it does, or something. Like if they suddenly came out saying like, oh, and by the way, we're also now doing a VR project because they've been out of that game as well, like some peripheral for VR.
Yeah, like HoloLens or something they've been working on, like come out crazy. Yeah, I know, but
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be like, oh wow, Xbox is now doing VR too. I'll be like, okay, they've added VR to their pool. I mean, they're behind PlayStation on it, but they could easily just do what PlayStation did: throw a bunch of VR titles on the Xbox, have the port over, and you're good to go. So,
I think
but I would be surprised. That's the thing. That's the point I'm trying to make. They've done so many surprising things so quickly that it's like each time it's been like, oh, okay, it's cool, but
I mean, let's be honest. I also we'll get onto the subject here. We'll wrap up in a second, but let's talk about the form factor. Smallest Xbox ever, right? So this is a very very tiny box. It looked like it had a speaker on it. Did you think it had a speaker on it when it first showed? I was like, don't tell me this is the speaker. It looks like it's
As
an
always,
air.
you scroll down comments and through Twitch, and all of a sudden you just see loads of pictures of it being photoshopped into everything.
I think I think it's a fan vent or something, right? But it reminded me of like a speaker. Like you don't even need a speaker. Just get a projector, plug it in, and it works. Look, but I think it's a nice, neat box. I mean, for me, it was one of those things that it forms the. So my wife looked at it and she's like, "Oh, it's cute." And then she sort of said, "Hey, can I get one of those for the living room? Like, and I can play Game Pass games." And I was like, "For $2.99, hell yeah!" Because she plays on her Switch. It's like that, and I wonder if that's the market, and that's what they're going for. But let's end on a closing comment here. Do you think $2.99 is the right price point? Do you think the specs are the right spec point? And what's your thoughts on Microsoft really splitting their tiers, not just a non-digital, but a really wide band of their tiers?
I think 299, I think is a fair price to ask. It's a new console, it's new tech. It's only arguably a fifth more expensive than what you could buy an Xbox One S for 6 7 months ago. Or like the current stock even now. I'm sure you'd still get it at that price. So I think that's fair. As for the price of the Series X, just to tie into that,
Well, the spec. It's the
499.
spec.
No, I know it's the spec. I meant like just the price point on both consoles. We haven't got the second one. I think if it came out as 499, I'd say that's what everyone was expecting. And what I was going to say earlier, I'm just adding it in here and plugging it, is I think we might have a rehash of like with the PS3 days and Xbox 360, where the PS3 was like $600 or something. I wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation ends up being 599 and 499. Anyway,
I really want to know what their proprietary hard drive is costing them to manufacture, and I really want to know if we're looking at two 599 consoles, one because they went more powerful and one because they went down a custom route.
yeah,
And
exactly.
I think we're sitting at the 599 mark for those consoles, and I think if Microsoft wants to be aggressive, it's 499, and I think PlayStation All Digital is 499. I think that's where they're at. So that's my personal thought.
Yeah, just wanted to plug it in there because I didn't get a chance to say earlier. But back to what Microsoft's doing on the whole scope of it. Like I said, I see what they're trying to do, but you can't say it's going to pay off until you see it, right? If you find out xCloud's got all the support and stuff, then you find out the xCloud usage is like 15% of the people use it. Is that what they're projecting? Do they want at least 30% of users to engage in it for it to be a successful service? Will they continue supporting it if it has only 10% of the users? Is it something they are committed behind? I'm sure they are, but and the same with this 2 year gap. We've already had the issue with Halo rumored to be delayed because of issues on running on the lowest performance of the platform.
So how does
So
that knock
those
on?
issues going to
Yeah.
come up again with other games that have yet to come out, and we've just heard about it through like the grapevine. Because once again, it was a rumor. It was delayed, but that was the rumor of its delay. It wasn't like officially like said yes, it's having issues on this console. They're just like, oh, we want to make it better, right? Because of feedback.
It's like
And
you
of
got
course, they always
It's like you got the new Assassin's Creed. It's a lower resolution, and we turned off all ray tracing. Like for example,
yeah
or something. Like yeah, I get it.
it's once again, this is being released this year. Normally, it's the first E3 afterwards that we start seeing like the real good-looking games from consoles.
Mhm.
And if next year's E3 is Microsoft saying all these games run on all consoles, but you'll get like enhanced with Series X and enhanced with Series S based versus a play platform, and then Sony's just got, well, these games are all entirely on this one console, and they're elevating it even further. Like at the end of the day, they're a business, right? I could have my opinions on whether I would buy a console or not, or I probably will get an Xbox at the end of the day anyway. But I can have my opinion of, oh, they're doing this full platform thing. I prefer if they did it this way. But if they're seeing that doing it that way is giving them a new way into the market, new money, and new ways to improve the platform, then they're going to do it.
I think my closing comment to all this is look 2 years ahead, right? 2 years from now, XCloud. I guarantee you, Xbox Game Pass and XCloud is on my Samsung Smart TV, right? I think more and more of the world are going to have that option, and I've even thought to myself like, I want an Xbox Series X. That's what I want. I want to go for. I want it, right? And then I thought to myself, what if I could get the Series S and just play everything on xCloud because I got a 1 GB fiber? Saves me some money. I mean, I think what they're doing is spreading their bet, and I think it's interesting. But I expect that console to sell well. It's COVID. It's hard times. 80% of the economy. We haven't recovered to 80% of what the economy was before COVID. People are short on money. Stimulus checks going out. The last thing you need to be buying, consoles are luxury items, right? They're luxury items. So if you're saying all your kids like, we really want it, we really want it, and you got to save up for a Christmas present for them in these tough times, you're going to use the 299. I think it's a console for today. I think it is a good chance to be what it is. Maybe in a few years they're going to drop that. The Xbox Series X becomes the lowest form factor, and you get an Xbox Series X Pro, right? But I think for right now, I think it's a smart move. I think so. But I think just
It's like they're doing a console like a PC. You have mid and high tiers that you can buy based on what you can
get a new
afford.
iPhone every 2 years. So why not make a new console? And they cost twice as much as what these do. So why don't you make it that you pay $35 a month, get an Xbox Series X in 3 years, you get another one for $35. You just pay them $35 a month for always having the latest console. When the new one comes out, it's shipped to your house. That's kind of what we're talking about. And that over the course of a year, that's $600 or $700 or whatever it is over 2 years, and that's the equivalent of one GPU graphics card, but you get a new system every 3 years or something. So we'll see. I think that's a good place to leave it. That's kind of a different topic to talk about, but thanks for dropping by, Thomas. Thanks for having the conversation, and we'll be keeping our eyes out for these Sony at Tokyo Game Show. Is that where they announce the price? I'm kind of thinking they will. Microsoft has an event this month, so we'll keep our ears and eyes to the news, and we'll be back, right?
Yeah, well, on that note, Sony's on the back foot now. It's almost like Microsoft has teased it, just showing off the Xbox Series S price. We've already chatted about how the two other next ones are still holding the gun.
They got to be
Sony's on the
confident
back
that
foot, so
they got to be confident at 299 at that console. So the others have got to be much more expensive. So all right, we'll leave it there. Thanks, Thomas.
thanks, Mike.